right, so look, Monday night we got a game too. Don't forget about the Monday night game. Kevin O'Connell meets his former, I guess, what is he, his mentor,
Yeah.
Sean McVay, who's younger than him. Interesting.
Hmm.
Anyway, they was both on my Washington Commanders, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, this is two coaches that I think we both, we all three of us respect. They're both excellent coaches. I actually think we all feel the sentiment of McVay's probably a little better because he's won a Super Bowl. However, O'Connell is also excellent. That being said, I think that this sets the stage for a great game because I feel like O'Connell has a better team. I feel like he's kind of in a position to be a better coach than him. However, McVay is battle tested and he's won a championship. That's what makes this game an interesting narrative because I think the Vikings are probably the clear favorite. However, there's some other stuff here. So, what you got to say about this, Chuck?
I love the narrative. As you can see, I like battle tested. People, that's the one thing that I feel like when the playoffs come around, everybody gets enamored with the hot teams and all this fun scoring stuff. Battle tested is a huge thing in all forms of playoffs, not just the NFL. This Rams team, their quarterback is battle tested. Their receivers are battle tested. Their head coach is battle tested, and he knows Kevin O'Connell. Honestly, I have the Rams. I honestly have the Rams.
Like it.
The Vikings seem good, but if anybody can figure out how to, like disconnect that coach to mid quarterback thing that the Vikings got going on, it's the guy who used to have it, with him and Jared Goff. If they can find that way to disconnect that little, because you can see was this the pumpkin game from Sam Darnold? Like he looked a little.
Charlie, I
Hey,
love where
maybe
you went.
JJ McCarthy needs to stay on the roster. You know what I'm saying? Like so.
Charlie, I
To
love what you're
me,
saying.
I think I really love Brian Flores. I love the whole everything Minnesota got going on. But just from the experience standpoint, and just from like the familiarity standpoint, I'll take the Rams. I'll take the old guys, the veterans.
I think I texted you guys yesterday during the Vikings Lions game and was letting you know this is exactly why I would want neither of these quarterbacks. Like I think I just had to say that. And so with that point being, we keep talking about battle tested this and that. I only see one of these teams that actually has a quarterback, that's worthwhile. So when it comes down to it, that's the age old thing that I'm going to hearken on to is who has a quarterback and who doesn't when it comes time for playoff. When it comes time for playoff battles, that's what I want to know. Do you have a quarterback? And if you don't, I'm not picking you. I can't. It's just beyond the pay over me. I'm not picking
So
that
are
guy.
you
Like,
telling me
it's
that
the same
Minnesota been
reason.
running
It's hold on,
running
hold
a
on. It's the same
wildcat?
reason that McVay threw away everything. He threw away the pail in the sink for the guy that's in Detroit, right? He threw it all away, to get
A
to get
quarterback
to get a
to get
quarterback.
a
What he has
quarterback.
currently that won him a Super Bowl. I wonder why.
You know,
Because when it comes
Interesting.
you
down to it,
know,
that's what you
this
get.
brings me to a very interesting point, Frank. See, all right, I'm gonna give you guys like a real quick back soggy nachos thing for y'all, right? So like
Mhm.
Frank over the years have developed this mentality of building something called a system, right?
Yeah.
Which is like basically building a team, continuing to tank all these years, and just building a team where like you can basically slide a quarterback in there that can play well because you got a good offense, you got a good offensive line, whatever. Cool. The bottom line is though, McVay did the closest thing to that because what he did was he built it with the Jared Goff, and then all right, let me go, and then he won a Super Bowl. So Frank, I get it. In theory, we understand why you like it, but there's so many barriers in place as to why that's not real. But that being said, though, you guys have I wouldn't say y'all changed my mind. I think what you guys have done is made me see it a little different.
Yeah.
Um, as y'all know, I'm a fake Vikings fan. I'm a fake Vikings
Yeah,
fan because
there you
I
are.
like Kevin O'Connell and I like Kirk Cousins, and then he left, and I couldn't just leave them like that, even though I don't like Sam Darnold. But
They
and
played
just
earlier
because
in the same stadium they played before, and I watched that game, and I watched the lack of a quarterback
Yeah.
be the reason they didn't win that game. I know there was a
So
call.
y'all both got the Rams. That's interesting. And you know what's so interesting about this team, man? They got a bunch of players that I like that people have always told me were a little overrated. Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, um, Kirk last year, but they got Darnold now. Yeah, all right,
Aaron Jones.
whatever. I still got the Vikings though, so that's cool. At least we don't have to agree on all of them, but I do like that. So I like that you guys are thinking like that though. I respect it. I respect it. Y'all are not going with the funny, sexy pick of the Vikings. Y'all saying it's cool. They had a good regular season, and it's time to wrap it up and go home, huh?
Yeah, it
Pretty
is.
much. I know. What's his name told him he'd see them in 2 weeks, but nah, I don't think so. I don't think that's what it is.
And while we're here, I guess we'll address the elephant in the room. There's something going on with Kevin O'Connell and the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, right.
There's that because he's been quote unquote made available for trade. And that either means he doesn't want to stay or they're not going to do what it takes to keep him. Or at least that's what it looks like right now. His contract is up after next season. And these aren't players. They don't have a franchise tag. He just walks. So after the 2025 season, he'll just go and they won't get any compensation. It sounds like something in that back room smelling a little funky. and maybe this isn't the marriage that it looks like. Honestly, I personally think it has a lot to do with Brian Flores. They said if he's in their head, if he leaves, they already have the guy they would love to replace him with. And they're going to lose that guy this offseason. So, they might lose Brian Flores this year and
Then
Kevin O'Connell next year.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
That's a nice little thing you brought up.
Exactly. So, to me, if I'm reading, in Chris Sims's word, reading between the tea leaves, I think there's a chance that they move on from Kevin O'Connell after this, get a first plus, because that's what these coaches go for, have B-flow, keep the flow of the team going, and continue to rebuild. I think this is something that we need to be monitoring.
Listen, if you saying there's a possibility that O'Connell could end up in Washington, my ears is
That'd
all.
be great. That'd be great.
I know
Listen,
y'all.
you're not about to
y'all
disrespect DQ like that.
I'm not
That's my
doing
coach,
the
bro.
Dan Quinn thing, bro. Like we could do this till we blue in the face, but it's like I'm looking at the future. We got a bright future right now, so I'm trying to make sure it stays bright. That's all. That's all.
Well, look, man. Anyways, I guess we can go ahead and leave it there.